It's Dave Lawrence. How you doing? I'm grateful you're here with me today. Today we have a very special guest joining us this afternoon. He is one of rock's legendary vocalists, such a distinctive voice, hugely talented, and a very respected artist. Truly a gifted performer and songwriter who I have never had the chance to speak with before. And so this is a true honor. I've sort of grown up with his music, as you may have. Most recently, his incredible band released the extremely well-done cover CD, which we supported, Take Cover, featuring their stunning versions of Welcome to the Machine, For the Love of Money, Almost Cut My Hair, and many other diverse classics. They also recently released Sign of the Times, a great best-of, Mindcrime at the Moor, a live version of their epic concept albums, Operation Mindcrime and Operation Mindcrime 2. And they appear on Monster Ballads Christmas, perfect for the holidays with their cover of White Christmas. It is a great thrill to welcome to my show a wonderful artist, a very down-to-earth person, someone I've admired for many, many years, from Queensryche, their vocalist, Geoff Tate. Aloha, Brother Geoff.
Hey, Dave. What an introduction.
Well, you're worthy of it. Big mahalo, dude.
Very kind of you.
Very kind of you for taking time. And there are many great things happening in your world right now, and I love all the positivity coming from the Queensryche camp. Perhaps most timely, this holiday cover. Why, of all the classics, which you could wrap your unique voice around, was it White Christmas?
Well, we were actually just asked to do that song.
Really?
Yeah. We were playing a festival in Spain and during the summer, and J.J. French, who's an old friend from Twisted Sister, slid up next to me at the table. I was having dinner there, and he said, "I won't take no for an answer, but you must perform White Christmas on my Christmas album."
Is that really how it went?
Yeah. What could I say? He's like 6'5", dressed in drag, kind of scary guy.
When did you actually record it?
I'm not quite certain the date, but it was sometime this last summer.
Right. So that's.
I remember we were in the studio, and then my wife called me on my way home and said, "You got to stop at the grocery store for dinner." So I'm in the aisle of the grocery store, and I'm wheeling the cart through there, dressed in shorts and sandals and a Hawaiian shirt. And apparently I'm an absent-minded whistler, and I'm like...
Say that again a little louder.
I'm an absent-minded whistler. So I'm whistling White Christmas, and a woman turns around and she says, "It's so nice to see somebody in the Christmas spirit so early in the year." Yeah, so I remember it being very hot and summery that day.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask, is like a lot of these, to do a Christmas record, often you've got to, like you've just pointed out, you're not recording it during the holiday season, so you're sort of getting into the holiday season early.
That's right.
As that woman pointed out. Is it weird to be recording something like that so out of season?
Yeah, it is kind of weird. We actually decorated up our studio with Christmas ornaments. And
just to get into the vibe?
To get into the vibe, yeah.
Were they Queensryche Christmas ornaments? Or just...
Well, they were, actually. This time of year is our family Christmas time, is our holiday time. So we always go someplace for Christmas, the whole family.
Nice.
So we're actually leaving tomorrow morning to Europe for Christmas. So.
And where are you going to go?
We're going to Venice, Italy.
Oh, dude, you're an animal with that business. And by family, you mean who all are you toting along?
Just all my kids. I've got 5 kids. So the wife and the 5 kids, and yeah, crazy.
What are their names?
Oh, I have 5 girls. I've got Emily is my youngest. Isabella is my second youngest. And then there's Miranda, Renee, and Sabra.
Wow, cool names. My buddy Jason Steinberg has a daughter named Miranda. That's crazy. You're only the second person I've heard with a...
That's a really uncommon name.
Yeah, totally. That's what everyone tells him, and I'm sure they tell you that too.
Yeah, they do.
It makes me feel so old too, man, because you with all these kids, I'm like, damn, man. We're getting into the future when Geoff Tate's got a family of 5 and he's heading to Venice for Christmas. What a place to go. And it's just your old lady and the kids.
Yep.
You are living large, and that's the way life is. I mean, that's how you should be doing it with your portion of the Queensryche fortune. I applaud you for doing that, Venice. I'm envious. I'll be thinking of you.
Well, all the kids kind of have a big thing about it. Like during the school year leading up to the vacation, they all study the language of the place we're going and the traditions, customs, and kind of familiarize themselves with, the art, the literature. So it's kind of like a school trip as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's twofold, right? There's an educational aspect to it. And this has really ended up being a year of covers for the band with Tate covers. Such an eclectic song selection. A lot of the time when bands do these things, they're pretty straight up with the rock material.
We grew up listening to everything, from the Supremes, to Otis Redding, to Iron Butterfly and the Stones, and the Beatles, you name it. It was all rock music.
Yeah.
And so we pull from a pretty large, influential pie there. I really particularly like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young from the
Hence Almost Cut My Hair being on the record.
Yeah, I love that song and what it means. Because back then in the 60s, people grew their hair as a statement.
Totally.
It's not like it is today where it's more of a fashion, and then it was a statement against, the man. It was against the corporation. It was against the machine,
I just ran into David Gilmour at the after party for the Led Zeppelin show at the O2 the other night. He has not heard Welcome to the Machine yet, apparently.
I've met Nick Mason, the only one. Well, I met Dave one night after show of the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour in London. I was backstage, and I had one of those fan-out moments, where you meet somebody you really respect and you can't think of what to say.
I can relate.
Yeah, so I ended up asking him to give me a smoke. And, so he did. He handed me a Marvel Light, and so I'm lighting it up. Before I can say another thing, he goes, "Well, could you leave me alone now?"
Oh, dude, that is such comedy because, quite frankly, that's the Dave vibe. That's sort of how he was at the after party the other night. He was there by himself, and
yeah, he was by himself too, just sitting there in the corner, all by himself. So I thought, well, he's not like being taken up with anybody, so I'll just kind of walk over there. But I didn't even have a chance to say anything interesting
before he could say, "Please leave me alone."
Yeah, very Garbo-like, I want to be alone.
Dude, that's wild. Our experiences are very similar with him. He was at this huge party, totally alone, and wanting to stay alone.
Yeah, comfortable with that, I guess.
I guess he is, and I'm thinking to myself, Dave, what are you doing here at this festive after-show party, seeming so serious and by yourself, kind of like you're just cruising? But I did have the moment to ask him, because I knew I was going to be speaking with you, and he had not heard that cover. He seemed sort of oblivious to it.
Yeah, we got a really nice letter from Brian May from Queen.
Yeah, Brian's good like that.
Yeah,
he's a whole different kettle of fish. And you know what? Thinking aloud with you, it's always been like sort of a Roger tune anyway. Maybe that's would throw Dave off too.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? He'd look at that and be like, "Oh, that's one of Roger's numbers."
I'm not even interested.
Exactly. I'll pass on that, regardless of who's covering it. You know what's going to count? Not just for for your own benefit. You should start writing the stuff down for your book, bruh.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need this stuff. I mean, 25 years from now, when you're writing the tell-all, you're gonna want all the details. So start jotting it down, Brother Geoff.
Well, what was kind of funny is the other night I was invited to this TV show in Los Angeles for Gene Simmons has that reality show on now.
Yeah.
And they taped him being roasted in L.A. and they had all these different comedians and musicians showed up and all that. And so they're asking me on my memories of being on the Kiss tour, and I had this great memory of backstage one night, and Gene was apparently going out with Cher and Diana Ross at the same time, and neither women knew about each other, and unexpectedly they both showed up at the same show, and backstage they got into a fist fight. And it was a brawl. I mean, it was blood and hair and
the two chicks.
Clothing. And what was funny about it was I was relating the story, and then later during the roast, they had Gene sitting on stage in a chair, and then they had these two drag queens come on dressed like Cher and Diana Ross, and they did this whole act, and they came up and they ended up getting in a fight on stage.
And it was acting out your memory.
Acting out my memory, And these people around me at the time when I was telling them, they were, "Oh, you got to be kidding! Is that real or not real?" So it kind of kind of gave my my story some authenticity.
Oh, it does, and that's one you witnessed that firsthand, Jeff.
Yeah, it was scary.
How far away from it all were you? Just a few feet, or?
Oh, I was just standing right next to him. In fact, I have. I wish I would have kept the jacket. I have some of Diana Ross's blood. Who do you think won?
Diana Ross.
No.
Cher?
Yeah.
You had some of Diana Ross's blood on your jacket.
Yeah. You know, Cher is tall and lanky. She's got this long reach. So Diana Ross couldn't even get close to her, you know.
And they were just... And how long did they go at it until... And then what happened? I mean...
Well, the security came in and grabbed them both and, you know, hauled them out of there. You know.
It started with words?
It started with, you know, the cold glance, you know, the realization of what was going on, and then all of a sudden, you know.
Dude, highlight. This is a great story. And where was Brother Gene during all this?
Gene was in between them, you know, and getting pummeled as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
And hair flying around,
hair
too.
Hair flying, clothes ripped, you know, blood, guts, gore. Like a Rob Zombie video.
Oh man! Well, you gotta, and that's another one. Get any of the loose details, put them down, because in your book, I'm saying stretch that out. That's going to be a whole chapter that's going to help sell.
Oh yeah,
major copies. You're like, I was a first-hand witness. Are there any photos? I wonder of that.
I've never seen any. No,
man.
But it's funny that somebody knew about that because, you know, the drag queens reenacted it. You know, at the roast. You know, 20 some odd years later. So.
How many people were present
at the roast?
No, at the
backstage.
At the brawl of the century between Diana Ross and Cher.
Oh gosh, I would say maybe 15, 25 people, something like that.
Man, if they had only had camera phones back then, Joe.
Oh yeah, boy. Nowadays everything's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Minutes, you know.
Yeah, but you could have like at least gotten a couple, and then you could be like including previously unseen photos. You could throw that in the book too. So how was that Crazy Heaven and Hell Alice tour? Was that a great, knowing your relationship now with Ronnie? And I didn't realize that you guys had, you know. Plus, you spoke so eloquently of how kind he was to you. Was that tour a rewarding experience?
It was. It was really a treat. In fact, we weren't planning on touring this last summer because we're working on a new studio album. But when they called and invited us, we just couldn't say no because, you know, my God, legendary bands. You know?
Huge.
Yeah, and what a treat to be on stage with those guys. And you know, it's funny, but I really didn't have such an appreciation of what Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler did until I actually was up on stage watching them and hearing the way they play together.
Yeah, they're very special cats, both of those guys. And
I never caught that, you know, watching from an audience standpoint, you know, until I was up actually on the stage and listening to them close, you know.
Yet you were so influenced and mentioned to post Ozzy records, Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, which which would make sense that Queensryche would be influenced by that. That's cool that you got something out of it. How about Brother Alice? Was he cool to be around?
Oh yeah, Alice was always great. You know, always treats us really well, and you know, big fan of what he does. In fact, he was the first concert I ever saw.
Was Alice?
Yeah, the $1 Billion Babies tour.
What a hell of an introduction to stuff too, man. That's a great one. And you have how big of a Led Zeppelin fan are you?
A great respect for the band. Chris, our former guitar player, was a huge Jimmy Page fan. There was a funny moment years ago in London. We were doing pre-production for the Warning album, and we were getting ready to leave for the day back to the hotel, and ran into Jimmy Page in the foyer of the rehearsal hall, and he was real personable, really nice guy. And then we had taxis waiting outside, so we went to jump in the taxis, and there's no Chris. Where'd he go? So I went in to look for him, couldn't find him anywhere, looked everywhere. Finally found him in the bathroom with Jimmy Page, and they've had guitars in the bathroom with their feet up on the urinals playing guitars together.
Amazing.
Yeah, bizarre.
And a great moment for him, huh?
I don't know how that happened, but it was. I wish I had a camera. You know?
But that must have been a highlight in Chris's life.
Oh yeah. Well, they ended up going out and hanging out for a couple days and see in London from Jimmy's point of view.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's outrageous. So what kind of experience do you have here in Hawaii?
I've only been to Hawaii once.
Just to hang?
Yeah, just a vacation.
Where'd you go?
Kona.
Big island.
Yeah, that's
We
the
love
only
it.
place I've ever been, but I really enjoyed it. I'd like to go back.
Well, I got to tell you, if you come back, make sure you let me know if it's going to be, if you want to come and play out here. I know there are a lot of people who really appreciate your music.
Oh, cool.
I'm constantly getting calls for Queensryche, and it wouldn't, if you pick the right venue, you do the right timing, you get the right people to promote it. Maybe our friends at On Stage Hawaii, which is a good organization that promotes shows. I'd be happy to strongly support it myself, and I can speak for a number of people who greatly care about your music. It would really be something to have you here.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, we'd love to. Hawaii is one place that we've never actually played.
We've got to change that, brother.
I think so.
Come on, Jeff. We got to get you out here. And promise me if you do come, if you're on Oahu, even if you come and visit Oahu, that you'll stop by my show and hang out.
Oh, absolutely.
I will take such good care of you. I'll get it catered. I'll get you tons of gifts. I'll get you a limo to and from your hotel. I'll make it so easy and nice for you.
Cool. Bring some acoustic guitars and play some songs or something.
Dude, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Adding to the aloha. As a final thought, I encourage folks to stay in touch with you at Queensryche.com. Is there a better place, or would you recommend that like me?
Oh, that has, everything that they would possibly want to know.
Folks can go there for information. They can look for Queensryche on Monster Ballads Christmas, the new Tate cover CD. And Geoff Tate of Queensryche, an amazing performer, and you've been a fantastic guest. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as me.
Oh, very much. Thanks, Dave, for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
You're a solid brother, and I wish you only good things.
All right. Well, thank you.